Good morning, ladies and gents. I think it's time to do some propagation on this neon Pothos because some of these vines are starting to getting a little bit long and leggy, and I quite like the sort of tight habit that I've got this one growing in at the moment. And don't you just love these neon green leaves as the new leaves come out? They have this just beautiful neon green colour, and the contrast against the older leaves as well. This really is, I probably say this about most of my houseplants, but this is one of my favourites. It sits here on top of my speaker in my office. I won't film my desk because it's a massive mess at the moment. But you get the gist. It sits up here and I get to look at it all the time when I'm working, and it really is a joy to behold. And it's really happy and healthy here as well, which makes me happy because I know it's not all about perfect looking leaves and perfectly healthy plants, because it's not always the case. Most of the time it isn't, but it is a joy when you see something that is just really happy in its spot. So today I'm just going to take a few of these off to propagate into some more neon Pothos plants, because they're super easy to propagate. It keeps it looking neat and tidy. As you can see, it's quite tight, but as the vines start to elongate, the internodal distance gets longer and they just get a bit leggy. And it's fine if you want something to hang down in that way. And originally I put this together to be a hanging basket. It's in a hanging basket, but I just preferred the look of it like this, so it stayed that way. You know, you're allowed to change your mind. It's okay. So I'm going to chop a few of these out, some of the longer ones, just to keep it nice and neat. And each time you do that, it will stimulate new vines, which will make it even more compact and sort of reinforce the shape that I'm looking for. So why don't we get started with that? So when we talk about cutting below a leaf node, for propagation, this is a good example of why. If you can see, below every, or on every single node here, is an air root developing on every single node. So this shows you where the roots are going to develop from. And so if you're looking to cut a cutting for a houseplant, you should always look to cut below a node, because that is where you're going to get the roots from. And when we put them in water, they will develop further into normal water sucking roots, and they will root very quickly and very easily. So all I'm going to do with this, I've got my unnecessarily long stainless steel scissors here, which I use for cutting back aquascaping plants, because you can, you know, get right down into the water. But I had them to hand, so that's what I'm going to use. Didn't really need them, but they're good scissors. So I'm just going to cut back up here. There we go. And that gives us a nice long cutting, and all of those nodes will root very nicely for us and gives lots of new plants, which is nice. When they look as good as that, it's nice to have plenty more. It's a very cold, wintry but very sunny day here in the UK, and the garden room is looking very pretty with the sun shining through on the palm and the dracaena, and eventually it will get round to the blue star fern and light that up as well, which is looking splendid in its basket over there. And don't worry, the radiator is barely on in this room. It doesn't seem to mind being so close to it. Beautiful. It's like an indoor jungle today. Love it. So I've got a bunch of old jam jars here that are waiting to go into the recycling, so I always make use of these for making my cuttings. So yeah, pretty simple. Let's see what we can do here. So each one of these we want to try and make a cutting out of to make the most of it. So here they are, all chopped up. Now you could keep them as one long one and they'll all grow roots at each junction, but it's just easier to put them into a pot when they're cut into smaller pieces, really. So that's all I'm going to do. Just pop them in the water, just like that. There's nothing technical about it. Just put the leaf around there, so we go. It's a nice bright location, so I think I'm just gonna leave it here for a couple of weeks and that will grow some nice roots there, and I'll be able to pop them in the pot, either add to the one that I've already got or create new plants to give away to friends and family. So it really is that simple. All you've got to do is keep an eye on it, give it a few weeks, change the water once a week just to freshen it up. Can be tap water, rainwater if you've got it, but it doesn't really matter at this stage as long as it's in water. We're just growing the roots at this stage. But yeah, super simple, super easy to propagate in water, and you'll see very quickly they'll start growing roots. Wait until they get maybe sort of 2 centimeters, just an inch and a bit long, something like that, and then they should have enough roots to be able to pop them in a little pot with a bit of soil and give them plenty of water to begin with, because they'll be adapting from a waterborne environment into a soil-based environment. So usually I wouldn't recommend keeping the soil particularly wet, but for these guys, whilst they're just getting established for the first few weeks, give them plenty of water, nice wet soil, and that will help them acclimatize reasonably quickly. That's it, nice and easy. Do it yourself. Why not? If you've got some Pothos yourself, some golden Pothos, neon Pothos, or any of the other ones, give them a go. They're super easy to do, and it's a great gift for your friends and family, and I'm sure they'd appreciate it. All right, that's it for this quick propagation video. I hope you found it useful. A quick thumbs up is always appreciated, and subscribe if you're new around here for more houseplanty goodness coming along very soon. Thanks, guys. See you soon.